For over 50 years, Walt Disney has turned great stories into unforgettable animated motion pictures. Now the tradition continues as Walt Disney Pictures proudly presents a new twist on the classic story of Oliver.
A pussycat? Come on, let's eat him.
I love a story with food in it.
Oliver, the little orphan who fell in with Fagin, the Dodger, and a gang of canine con artists out to take New York for all it's worth.
It's worthless.
What kind of work do we do anyway?
Investment banking, man. Stop, thief!
Let's get out of here.
Oliver, the heroic kitten who was catapulted into a whole new world.
What is the meaning of this?
Oh, Georgette. I see you met Oliver.
The little furball.
Only to be rescued
Oliver!
by his gang of friends.
I just want to go back.
Back with his Uncle Tito.
Walt Disney Pictures presents our 27th full-length animated motion picture featuring songs performed by Billy Joel, Huey Lewis, Ruth Pointer, and Bette Midler.
Hey, Reggie, get down.
Your family is cordially invited to meet our new family. Oliver, Jenny, Georgette, Tito, the Dodger, Fagin, Rita, and Sykes, the vicious villain determined to destroy Oliver. They're all together in a holiday entertainment event you'll never forget.
Absolutely, positively.
Walt Disney Pictures, Oliver and Company.
So this week's movie of the week is, hold on, it's upside down, Oliver and Company. Yeah, I've been really wanting to talk about this and go into a little bit further detail about this movie. I have been watching this movie quite a bit. I want to talk about the movie itself and the, of course, the Blu-ray release of the 25th anniversary edition. Well, in case you haven't seen the movie, it's basically Disney's take on Oliver Twist. You have the main character, Oliver, who is this orphan kitten who's thrown into a gang of dogs, and this being the Dodger. And there's Rita, and there's Francis. And of course, Fagin is a adult bum who has apparently taken a loan out from a loan shark, and if he doesn't return the money, he is in deep doo-doo. Let's just say they don't really specify, but he's in big trouble. But then little Oliver finally does get adopted by a little girl, and of course the little girl's family is rich, and he eventually doesn't want to leave, and he ends up saving. There's a ransom involved because she gets kidnapped, and little Oliver ends up saving her life. Now, this movie came out originally in 1988. It was a big hit for Disney at the time because Disney, up until that point, had financial failure after financial failure, and somehow they were able to still keep making these movies. This was one of the earlier movies where the Nine Old Men was not present. I think the last movie that the Nine Old Men worked on was The Black Cauldron. And that was the movie that transitioned from the Nine Old Men to the new animators that eventually took over in the 90s and became even more successful than what the Nine Old Men did. Now, Oliver and Company came out in 1988. It was kind of after the resurgence of animation. We have Who Framed Roger Rabbit to thank for reviving animation. But yeah, originally played in 1988. Did not come out on home video until 1996. after a revisit to the theaters in, I believe, 1995 or 1996. It was around that time that Oliver and Company came back out to the theater and played again, and then they eventually put it out on home video. I'm not quite sure what the reason why they did not put it out on home video in 1988 or 1989, but it never came out for about a long time after its original release. Again, it was a hit for the time. The movie, it was not the biggest animation. It was not the biggest animated movie at that time. It was actually defeated by The Land Before Time, which was directed by a former Disney animator by the name of Don Bluth. Don Bluth was an animator of the 70s at Disney, but he left when the studio was going under that financial trouble. But Oliver and Company was the movie that kind of helped usher in the new era of Disney animation. And it would lead to, Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid, and so on and so forth. I actually originally saw this movie in 1988. When it originally played, I saw it in a theater in South Bend. I had an aunt that took me to see it. I was, of course, 4 years old. Now, according to this Blu-ray, is not a very good transfer. It's, I would expect a little bit more out of Disney than this. Matter of fact, if you have the 20th anniversary edition, you have the 25th anniversary edition. They didn't do anything new except changed the back cover art. But that's all they've done. They did not add any bonus features. It's the same bonus content. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more on the behind the scenes making of. What they do have on here is what they've pulled from 1988 and 1996, talking about the legacy of Disney animation and how this was the 27th animated movie, and that they're going to continue the legacy of having all these animated movies, being released and being classics, actually. The movie at the time was it's kind of a contemporary look. Like I said, it's based on Oliver Twist. They really went really contemporary. They set it in 1988, New York City. The voices in the movie have I don't want to say unknowns. They are known now, but it's not your typical movie star voices. Dom DeLuise is Fagin. Billy Joel is the voice of Dodger. Rita is voiced by I can't think. It was Ruth Pointer. She was a popular singer at the time. Bette Midler is the voice of Georgette, the spoiled poodle. And Huey Lewis is actually, he's just a narrator, actually. Well, he's not even that. He just sings a song. Joey Lawrence, a young Joey Lawrence, is the voice of Oliver. Dom DeLuise is Fagin. I'm trying to think of who else is in this movie. If you remember the show Empty Nest, the guy that played the dad, the doctor, I forget his name. Richard Mulligan. he plays the voice of a Great Dane in this movie. As a matter of fact, it would have been around the time he was shooting Empty Nest. But yeah, Oliver and Company, I do encourage to check it out. If you don't have this movie, do check it out. It's in terms of Disney Blu-rays, it's not that great. Not at all. The movie is a hit or miss. Matter of fact, back when it originally came out, it was a hit or miss with the critics. It was mixed to negative. Some people thought that Disney was trying to rip off Ralph Bakshi, actually. I don't know about that, but it was a contemporary movie. Disney needed to do something, and it actually was looking at the brighter end of things because it got positive feedback from the audience because they spent money to see the movie, even though The Land Before Time did a little bit better. But yeah, Oliver and Company, this week's movie of the week. So from me to you, see you later.